Good day, everybody. My name's is Lukman. Actually, I named this channel by my name after I changed it to Black Man Story, Black Man History. Sorry, guys. So, if you are looking my video progress, you can. If you want to tell your friend to subscribe, it's a Black Man History. Black Man History. If you tap it on your YouTube channel, you will find me there. You will find me. So I actually bring a story about Ghana, talking about Ghana and stuff like that. But today I want to talk about Ukraine deal, about the agriculture, farming, like some things, products like grain and maize importing from Ukraine to Africa. And it's totally propaganda. But nobody is talking about it in Africa, because the Africans cannot talk about it because they don't know what they're actually going on. And nobody is supporting in the war in Ukraine, in Africa, and nobody is supporting Russia, what they are doing in Ukraine. But what we are against is to using Africa as a blackmail to export a grain to Europe and other countries. We are against it very well. We cannot listen to all the program what they are mentioning names is all Africa. They are exporting this grain to Africa to help poor people. Actually, this grain is exporting to Europe. This grain is exporting to Europe. You cannot tell me that you are exporting the grain to Africa, because Africans are not eating everyday bread. Africans used to eat a corn made food, not a green, not a flour. Yes, we do eat a bread, but not always we use a bread as a food. So you cannot, they have to stop using it, the Green Deal, as a blackmailing Africans. Using African name, let them use their name to do it. What I want to mean, let the Europeans use their name to do it. Special France, the problem they call it some program like France 2 News. All they talk about Africa. Africa will destroy without the Green Deal. Africa will destroy. What are you talking about, guys? Africans are not eating green. Africans are not eating always bread. You understand? Even special those people we are here in Europe, we are not eating bread always. We eat African food. We all go to African market and buy African foodstuffs. Even we are living in this Europe. We are not eating always pasta in Africa, and we are not eating always bread in Africa. Only the things we eat is corn-made food, pado yams, and potatoes. Even the potatoes we use, nobody export it. And rice, and those rice we use to farm it in Africa. You understand? So we cannot black. They cannot using blackmailing us, using our name to make their business, to do their things. If they want to make the deal with the Russians, let them use their name. We Europeans, we need the green, we need the flour, we need the maize. We understand, guys. They cannot use an African name blackmailing the Russians. Let them use their name to do it. Especially the UN. I'm talking to you. You guys have to use your names to do your business, but not using African name as to blackmail. And then let us go to the topic again. Let us look this video before I jump to The another topic I want to bring.
Announced it will not renew the year-long deal that allowed Ukraine to export its grain through the Black Sea. Those critical food supplies, which were shipped to countries in Africa, the Middle East, and Asia, could now be cut off just at the moment when many vulnerable nations need them the most. William Brangham explores the impact of this decision.
Jeff, the agreement known as the Black Sea Grain Initiative was brokered last year by the UN and Turkey after Russia's naval blockade of Ukrainian ports trapped millions of tons of corn, barley, and wheat. For the past year, Russian forces allowed Ukraine to ship more than 32 million metric tons of those grains through the Bosporus Strait and onto the rest of the world. The deal has been renewed 3 times, most recently in May. Tonight was the deadline to extend the deal, but Russia announced its suspension, complaining that Western sanctions have restricted the sale of its agricultural products. Because Ukraine is such a major producer of grain and other foodstuffs, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres today said the end of the deal could have far-reaching consequences.
Participation in these agreements is a choice, but struggling people have.
That is the UN president I'm talking about. This is the man who using Africa as blackmailing to export the grain to Europe. Though me, I'm living in Europe. They have to use the Africa, they have to use Europe, not to use an African name. This is my anger. So this is the man who is blackmailing, doing everything. The war you see in Ukraine, they know about it. The war they kill Gaddafi, they know about it. The war they do in Syria, this man, he know about it. Even before he start, he know about it. But why they cannot stop it and let it come? Because when a war come, all these so-called people, they get interest and they make properties and profits and they make money from it. You understand? So they get attention from all those things. So they will not stop it. You understand? The Libya war, they kill Gaddafi, the Syria war, the Afghanistan, they use everything opportunity they see to blackmail. Recently, we are not hearing about Afghanistan again because Afghanistan, they have managed to succeed in living well. One day I will bring you a program about Afghanistan. Then we will discuss Afghanistan and comparing to Africa. Afghanistan that go to war over 25 years. They are living well than Africa now. So these people are nothing, but they are using Africa to blackmail, to export grain to Europe, export grain to their own countries and other countries. But not in Africa as general. African, the countries that they used to eat bread is Somalia and Libya and Egypt. Those North Africans, they eat bread too much. But them too, it is not like they eat only bread. They eat even another foodstuff that made in Africa. You understand? Though they're Africans, we pity for them. But you cannot use an African name as generally to export a food to Europe. Use your name. Use Europe name. Use Europe. Europe, we need food, and the Russians will help you. Though we are not supporting the war that the Russians are doing, but you have to use your name and tell them that you need a food so that they can help you. You understand? You all know that what you are doing is not right. But we because we have a weak African leaders weak, they can't say anything. They can't say anything about this, and you are using Africa to blackmail the world. You understand? So now me, my point is this also called UN, this stupid people, me, I tell you the truth like it's it on your face. These people are just using Africa to blackmail and make money from Africa. The UN in a mission in Mali, what they done over 10 years. What are they done? The UN mission in Burkina Faso, what have they done? Nothing. Their peace mission have been nothing and miserable. Like the ECOWAS that they claim to be power. This date I see new Nigeria president visits the ECOWAS military in Guinea because the military are just there for mission for selfish because they fear that the military will do coup in Guinea. So they brought African so-called UN African so-called ECOWAS military. West Africa I'm talking about. You understand? So they take them there and they're there eating food. They're just eating food and sleeping because they are so selfish. Some democracy they have. This democracy we have in Africa is not a democracy. Actually a useless democracy. So lie and pity. I pity for my people when I see they claim Africa we have a democracy. I pity, I really pity for my people. Africans, wake up, realize you do not have a democracy. You cannot have a democracy in your country and you have some leaders that you cannot even talk about them. Chiefs, criminals selling lands, digging ground for diamonds, golds, selling the lands to the Chinese and blaming the government. And the government cannot talk because they have their own interests with the chiefs. Because the chiefs have some major power that they employ their own people to the military to guide them, to lead them. Especially if you come to Ghana, the Otunfuo employ only a military that he believes in them to the military. But nobody know about it. But what Otunfuo is planning, what Otunfuo is planning, I guarantee you Otunfuo is planning to be some leader that nobody can touch him. And then he will destroy Ghana. If you are Santi and you are looking at me, bow your head to down because it's a shame that some particular person in your tribe doing anything possible to be a leader that nobody can talk about him. Is doing possible to make himself like a god and you are a human. But I will not go far away. I want to remember you as you, Otunfuo. Stop thinking that. Pharaoh. Pharaoh was most powerful than you and most famous because he have his own histories and credibility. He have his own books. People wrote about him because of the history that he made. And still, even Egypt still eat money from him, make economic from that paramount chief. But the chief is not exist again. Egyptian Pharaoh. If you talk to the Arab, they call him Pharaoh. You understand? But the Pharaoh I'm talking about, the Pharaoh still have a history that everybody want to go to see it, and the economic it give the Egypt economic, let the Egypt developing from it. And you, what are you making? You are claiming you are a chief, a bigger chief in the world. What are you doing? All you do to spoil the waters. Who will come to see the water you spoil? If it's the person come to see the water, what he will drink there? What is your history? What are you making? You understand? So if you are claiming that you are a big chief, you are a big king in the world, make a history. Make a history that people will remember you. Not the history that you will make and nobody will remember you, and people will remember you in pity and say it was so wicked and destroy all the water bodies in Ashanti region. His family and brothers and sisters living in the northern region, he called them, it's not his problem because it's not, they are not his tribe, but they are his brothers. They are Ghanaians, your sisters and family, your mothers. I jump to this story shortly. I will go back to the program I was talking because when I'm doing any program, it's still pushing me to talk about my country, Ghana, my beloved country. I love Ghana so much that I can't stop talking about politics. So, we was talking about the UN. Let us go back to look the video and see.
everywhere, and developing countries don't have a choice. Hundreds of millions of people face hunger, and consumers are confronting a global cost of living crisis, and they will pay the price.
For more on what this suspension might mean, we're joined again by Dave.
Here we go. You guys get me? He say the world will pay the price. Yes, they will pay the price. Them will pay the price. Them will pay the price. But in Africa too, they will pay the price because we have a stupid leaders that they don't know how to manage the continent. If African leaders can manage the continent and build the country and do it well and stop let the people individually building houses, small one bedroom apartment, two bedroom apartment, and manage the country and reduce the cities to smallest and make it look beautiful and let the electrician post that the plant, if you are passing, car passing, everywhere electric pole, everywhere electric pole, let it wires everywhere. So that the country no nice. If you come to Europe, all the electric curves are down. All the poles, you will not see any pole. The country look neat because they plan how to do it. All the curve and down. They do it well. When rain fall, you will not see any pole fall down and kill people because all the curves are down. All the hopes are mean. All is down. And then the houses they built in Europe, when you come to see the Europe, all the houses are taller, story buildings. I mean, it does not mean that they would actually want to build the taller houses. It actually means that they want to manage the lands and reduce the lands and use the lands, the reserving lands to do agriculture. If you come to Europe, some places you see they build the houses on the mountains. Actually, it's not that they want to build the houses on the mountains, but they build the houses on the mountain to use the lands on the down to make agriculture. Because when you are doing agriculture, you need some flat lands that can help you and reduce your stress. You understand, guys? So it is not actually that they build the houses on the mountain because they want to build the houses in the mountain to suffer and climb the mountain. Actually, they build the houses on the mountain to make the lands reserve to make agriculture because the mountain you cannot use it to farm, but the lands in the ground you can use it to farm. But if you go to Africa, so I was talking about the chieftaincy. If you go to Africa, the leaders leave all the lands programs to the chiefs, and those chiefs they don't know anything. They sell the lands to what they want, to do what they want, and they sell the lands to individual to make business. Even now, I hear in Ghana now is a land selling is the major business. If you want to make money, or if you want to make money just for some years, you have to buy a land, mini lands, and let it down. 10 years to come, and you sell it, and you get your profit. So stupid business. And you, the youth, you are using your money to buy the lands, letting the chiefs getting money and doing it anyhow. And the lands you are using to buy, your money to buy, is not coming back to help you. The money go to individual so-called chiefs, and they are using it to do what they want. They are selfish reasons. You guys, come on, let us talk about it. So we cannot any longer supporting those chiefs. What I want to mean that the chiefs are useless. Okay, this is just I'm putting it to the middle of my topic today. Actually, it's not only that I want to talk. Let us go back to look the UN program. They are angry about it.
David Miliband. He's the president of the International Rescue Committee, a humanitarian organization that works in over 40 countries. David Miliband, great to have you back on the program. As you heard, Secretary General Guterres acknowledged that participating in this deal is voluntary. So, what do you make of Russia's decision to not renew it?
Well, this is a callous move that has been condemned by the UN Secretary General for a very simple reason. It piles agony upon risk for some of the most vulnerable communities in the world. And the impact is twofold. One is obvious and direct.
Actually, what I want to tell you guys is if you are in Africa and you do not know what is going on in Ukraine, it's actually business. A business that the Europeans are doing. You understand? Now, let me tell you, it is not only Ukraine are farmers of the grain. Poland, Ethiopia or Switzerland, Iceland, and what they call it, and the biggest farmers I'm talking about in Romania and another place like that. And the Russians do farm green much more than Ukraine, but they ban the Russian green, they ban the Russian fertilizer, and they ban the Russian exporting oil to the Africa. And this is the major problem in Africa. What let Africa economic broke down is the oil. Now in Ghana, I'm talking about Ghana because only Ghana I know. For now, in only Ghana economic I know. In Ghana, if you want to buy petrol, €3. Actually, €3. By Europe, is one. Last 2 days, we went to buy it, and this was €1 50 cent. No, 56 cents. Sorry, guys. Europe. But in Africa, to buy fuel 1 gallon is actually €3 in Ghana. Even in Nigeria, that they produce oil, they cannot even find a oil to buy because they exported they do the oil in Nigeria. The company that they are exporting they are producing the oil in Nigeria. They export everything to Europe. The gas they export it all to Europe. They lay gas from Nigeria. They lay pipes from Nigeria to Europe, pass by the Egypt. You see, and if you are in Africa, you are thinking that you have some leaders, you have some democracy, maybe you have some criminals. They export everything they produce in Nigeria to Europe. But the Nigerians cannot even find a fuel to buy. A gas, common gas, they cannot even get it. But the biggest production in Africa, oil production, is Nigeria. The lions of Ghana, Africa, they have everything, but they cannot even use it by themselves because those they produce it in there, they sell it back quickly to Europe, and we are suffering. And you come here to tell me that it's a green deal. The world will suffer, Africa will suffer, African people will die, but without thinking that the fuel is our problem. Because in Africa, as general, export is our problem because everything you buy is come from the export. Because it's from another village to another village, another city to from another city. Then you can get it by. Special those they are stupid leaders like in Accra, there's no farm. Even if you are talking about farmers in Africa as general, they see you as a stupid. You don't know anything to do. Farm you are thinking to do. You can't find any office to stay, but they are using agriculture to blackmail you. And what you need is not that things. You need the fertilizer, you need the petrol, you need the gas in Africa. The major things we need is that a fertilizer, a medicine, because in Africa we not produce medicine. But they put embargo on all these things from Russia to Africa. But they are blackmailing you green deal from Ukraine. What a shame. You understand? So for me, my advice to the African leaders, they have to be shame and they have to tell them the truth. They have to tell them the truth and stop scaring them because they come here to take a loan, they can't talk the truth. But after they take the loan, they use our minerals to pay. That is why you see Africa, they destroying everything, gold and mining and system and destroying everything because they blackmail them with a bribe, with a loans, some stupid loans. Because those loans they collect, the same people they pay it back because they use the European companies to build everything in Africa. They can't build anything by Africans. Road construction, school buildings, hospital buildings, everything, the dams, everything Africa cannot even develop. Over 100 years, Africa cannot even construct a road. If he give African chance to construct a road, he's do it useless because he's know that it is his country and he did not even need to use the money in any good way. They use it useless. And the people that are working with them, they will not even actually pay them well. They will not pay them. They will just use them and give them some small dark money. It's finished. So it is this I have for you guys today by the Ukraine Green Deal. Actually, it's a propaganda for Africa. So if you are looking the video and you will want to see mini video like this, or you actually like the video I did, actually you can subscribe and like the video and share it to your friends, and then and you will continue to see my videos every day. Actually, I'm working, so I can't use this job as my job. I use it as my passion, my politics beginnings. So actually, I'm just using this platform to develop myself as politician. So we will develop ourselves, me and you all, to let you know what is going in the world and let you know actually happening in the world. Actually, the world is a propaganda war. So have a good day. Peace up to everybody. See you another day. So have a good time for yourself and your family. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much I wish to see you